have some breaking news on this Thursday morning as the San Francisco 49ers have signed another wide receiver. Thanks for watching. You're watching the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. My name is Chase Sr. Appreciate all of you for hanging out and supporting the channel. Now, we're going to talk about how the Niners just signed Quintez Cephus, who they worked out on Monday, but also that's not the only thing that we're diving into and dissecting on the program here today. We have a new Jauan Jennings update from Ian Rappaport and some more training camp news as the Niners about to hit the practice field for day 2 of training camp. We'll have a reaction video to that coming up a little bit later today. Remember when the Niners on Monday worked out 6 wide receivers? They have signed 2 of the 6 wide receivers who they worked out at the SAP Performance Center right before training camp got underway. We talked about the news the other day, earlier this week, how the Niners signed Equinimeous St. Brown, the brother of Amon-Ra St. Brown. He went to Notre Dame, ran right around a 4.5 40-yard dash coming out of college, 6'5", so he's a lot taller than his all-pro brother, but his all-pro brother has had a lot more of a successful NFL career as compared to Equinimeous. Drafted in the latter rounds by the Green Bay Packers, was with Green Bay for a couple of years, then was with Chicago, only played 2 games with the New Orleans Saints, but he's big, he's physical, he runs well, and he's a really good run blocker. And then today, the Niners signed wide receiver Quintez Cephus. The corresponding roster move, San Francisco has waived running back Israel Abanikanda, a former 5th-round pick out of Pittsburgh. He was a really good back with Pitt, and I thought that he could have been a good scheme fit with San Francisco, but with the emergence of Jordan James, the talent of Christian McCaffrey, of course, and the Niners having a really good backfield, including Isaac Guerendo and Patrick Taylor, who they like as a special teamer, I don't think there was room for Israel Abanikanda, and the Niners have question marks at wideout. They don't have as many question marks at that running back position, and hopefully Christian McCaffrey, of course, can stay healthy here in 2025. More on Quintez Cephus. He's 27 years old, has pretty good size, 6'1", 208 pounds. He has a physical element to his game. He was a 5th-round pick by the Detroit Lions out of Wisconsin in 2020. He was with Detroit from 2020 through 2022. Then his career kind of got derailed a little bit because of a gambling suspension in 2023. The NFL has really started to ramp up their efforts to keep players from gambling, even though they're in bed with a lot of gambling partners. And so Cephus missed the entire 2023 campaign. Last year, he popped around with the Buffalo Bills, the Houston Texans, the Los Angeles Rams, but did not play in a regular season game and has not recorded a catch, nor has he played in a regular season game since back in 2022. You look at his career numbers here, season by season. When he was a 5th-round pick by Detroit, of course, this was before the Lions became a really good upstart team. He played in 13 games as a rookie, 2 starts, 35 targets, 20 catches, 349 yards. In 2021, he only played in 5 games with 3 starts, 22 targets, 15 catches, and 204 yards. And then in 2022, only 4 games with 1 start, 3 targets, a minuscule 2 receptions, and only 15 yards. So far in his career, Cephus has played in 22 games. He has started 6 of them. He's been targeted 60 times, 37 grabs for 568. 4 touchdowns, though. That's using that size to be a factor as the offense gets closer to the goal line and in the red zone. And his 15.4 yards per catch is a solid number. He's been able to make plays downfield and create a little bit by picking up yards after the catch. He's an interesting player in this sense. Coming out of Wisconsin, he ran slow, a 4.73 40-yard dash. So very similar speed to a player like Jauan Jennings. And so his relative athletic score coming out of college was only a 4.5. He did have a good vertical, 38.5 inches. His broad jump was also great at more than 10 feet. Bad in the short shuttle, bad in the 3-cone, and then the 40-yard dash, the 20-yard split, the 10-yard split. He just doesn't have speed to his game. He's not a speed demon by any means, but he does have really solid size. The NFL.com scouting report on him it's really come to fruition. They projected at that time that he was going to be an average backup. It's pretty much been an average backup after missing all of 2018 in college because of this sexual assault scandal. Cephus got right back into the swing of things, culminating with memorable games against Ohio State and Oregon. You have good games against them, it's going to put you on some NFL draft radars. The size and body positioning create workable windows and tight quarters, and his ball skills build trust with the quarterback. Reminds you a lot with that verbiage of Jauan Jennings. Jauan Jennings is not a blazer. He didn't light up the 40-yard dash, but he can box out DBs. He can use his size to create windows for the quarterback. And both of those players, Jennings and Cephus, have good body control. More on Cephus, he's a build-up runner who lacks suddenness to uncover and may need to be motioned, bunched, or aligned in the slot to help with early separation. Kyle Shanahan does that a lot. Teams know how he can catch it, but they will need to see him get open. Cephus is a possession receiver with the profile of a capable wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 future. A big reason why the Niners made this roster move, because Jacob Cowing, who was one of the best players in the spring for San Francisco on the first day of practice against air, just running routes, pulled a hamstring. So he's going to be out a little while, I would imagine. It's really unfortunate because Cowing was looked at as a breakout candidate for San Francisco, and I thought he could have given the Niners a lot of speed. 4-4 guy, Jordan Watkins is a 4-3 guy, Isaac Guerendo is a 4-4 guy. So I thought this Niners offense, and still could, look different in 2025 with more speed elements. And Cowing can be used as a vertical threat. We saw him win in the preseason last year on a long ball on a stutter go. Nice throw from Joshua Dobbs. You can use him as a gadget guy, bubble screens, end arounds, reverses. I think that he can pick up yards after the catch, run in some crossers as well. So I'm really interested to see Cowing make that leap from year 1 to year 2. Shanahan said as far as him being prepared and the overall player, one of the most impressive players throughout the spring. So unfortunate news yesterday, and that's another hit to this wide receiver position for the Niners, which is why they're adding Quintez Cephus. Now, Brock Purdy was on KNBR today, and he said, we have guys at wide receiver. He voiced support and confidence in his wide receiver room, even though you look at the Niners wide receiver depth chart, it's murky. The waters are cloudy. Who knows when Brandon Ayuk is going to come back off that ACL, MCL. Ricky Pearsall is going to miss the first few practices because of that hamstring injury. Jauan Jennings, no hold in, no hold out. That's great. More on him in a moment. But he clearly wants a new deal. Demarcus Robinson could get suspended by the NFL because of the DUI arrest. The Niners are awaiting word from the NFL on that front. And then after that, a lot of unknowns. Jordan Watkins, a rookie. Jacob Cowing, hurt. Russell Gage, Tariq Owens, Isaiah Nayer, Equinimeous St. Brown, Quintez Cephus, Isaiah Hodgins, Junior Bergen, Malik Knowles, the other wide receivers on this team. To my count, the Niners have 14 wide receivers on the 90-man roster. Before we continue to push forward on today's show, join the movement, subscribe to the 49ers Report. I am your host, Chase Sr., for the best daily Niners coverage right here on YouTube. Anytime the Niners make a move, we always talk about it here on the show. In addition to news, reactions, analysis, if there's a big report or a rumor, you know we're always going to cover it. That's a big reason why the proof is in the pudding and why we have more than 163,000 subscribers, closing in on 164K. Still to come here on the show, right around the corner, we have a new Jauan Jennings update from Ian Rappaport, NFL insider for the NFL Network, and more training camp news items and takeaways to get to. But look, training camp is here. That means that Niner football, as far as the regular season, is going to be here before we know it. You got to get yourself geared up for the 2025 season and get your gear now before it's all sold out and hard to get or just takes so long to come to you. This Niners cutoff hoodie is on sale. Limited time only. They're flying off the shelves. We looked at the data. Was $55, now just $33. Head to chatsports.com/49ers cutoff. Use that link. It'll take you to Fanatics, and Fanatics will know that Chatsports sent you. This video yesterday, a good sign prior to the first practice of Niners training camp. Jauan Jennings dapping up Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. They seem to be on a good page and on good terms. Now, some people have reached out and they've said, Well, Chase, didn't Brandon Ayuk dap up Kyle Shanahan last year? Yeah, but Ayuk was a hold-in, and it took so long for him to sign that contract, $30 million per year. Jauan Jennings is not holding in. He's not holding out. He practiced yesterday, and he was very productive. This is very refreshing compared to what we saw, what we had to experience with the Brandon Ayuk contract saga and the Deebo Samuel contract negotiations. They would sprinkle out leaks and information to reporters. That caused a lot of distractions. It caused a lot of drama. They took to social media to post cryptic messages. Deebo Samuel at one point requested a trade. Jauan Jennings, on the other hand, is going into the final year of his deal. He's an underpaid player, but very valuable. I think his game ages well. He has a great connection with Brock Purdy. Instead of holding out, holding in, not reporting, posting dumb stuff on social media, he's all business. And the Niners, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, you're talking about a Hall of Fame safety and a guy in Kyle Shanahan who grew up as a coach's son. They're all about football all the time. Shanahan even said yesterday, we like how Jauan Jennings is handling this. It makes paying players easy. And this is a positive update from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. I think what's going on is a good faith situation between the Niners and Jauan Jennings. The 49ers tell Jauan to come to practice and do everything he needs to do to get ready for the season, and we'll take care of you. It wouldn't surprise me if they give him a 2-year extension, close to $13 million per year before the season starts, that would keep him with the team through the 2027 season. So he's under contract for 2025 for about $7.5 million. He can get close to doubling his salary with this extension. And I had said it. I think the happy zone for a Jennings deal between $11 and $15 million. Get the deal done. Good size, great hands, clutch player, willing blocker, great developmental player. As a former 7th-round pick who's gotten better every year he's in the NFL, it's also pretty telling that he led the Niners wide receiver huddle and was helping guys line up, go through drills. He's a consummate pro and a leader, and I think the Niners really like him, and that's a big reason why they're going to compensate him, hopefully. Because if he were to have a really good year, then produce next year, he'd be worth probably too much than what the Niners would be willing to pay him. Other camp news, 11th overall pick, defensive end Mykel Williams looked great on day one. Lining up behind Nick Bosa on drills, learning from one of the best technicians at the pass rusher spot in the NFL, and he was running with the ones opposite of Nick Bosa with that first-string defense. The highlight of the day for Mykel Williams, when he slid to defensive tackle on a pass rush situation and a passing down for the offense, and he bulldozed Dominic Pooney, one of the top guards in football. That is NFL-ready size and power, and the size and power that I've been talking about ever since Mykel Williams got drafted. D. Winters is fighting for a starting linebacking spot alongside Fred Warner. Fred Warner said, I really think he's about to break out. Even though D. Winters didn't start off with the ones at linebacker, it was Luke Gifford, who's been a career special teamer, made the most of his opportunities, picked off Brock Purdy after he undercut a route. Good start for D, whose playing style so entertaining and fun to watch because he plays with so much fire. 5th-round pick rookie running back Jordan James out of Oregon. Didn't fumble in his entire college career. Has good contact balance, the ability to pick up yards after contact. He's a really good pass protector. He has some pop to his game. I'd like to see the Niners find a way to get him involved. Keep in mind that, yes, he was a 5th-round pick, but it was one of the deepest running back classes ever. If it was another year, some evaluators thought that he had 3rd-round ability. On the first play of training camp, Brock Purdy dropping a dime downfield to George Kittle. Purdy just got his new deal. Kittle just got his new deal. Usually Kyle Shanahan starts off practices with a run, but it was a play-action boot, I believe, and Purdy chucked an accurate football downfield to number 85. And Nick Bosa taking a shot at former Niners defensive coordinator Nick Sorensen yesterday, saying, when asked about Robert Saleh, his commanding presence in meetings is something that we needed. Chip said it best. Nick Sorensen, the furthest thing away from being a commanding presence. When asked by friend of the show, Larry Kruger, why did you get the defensive coordinator job last year? Nick Sorensen said, I don't know. You'd have to ask Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. I got hired here at Chat Sports for a reason. I had a good pedigree and a background as a broadcaster. I think that I'm very talented in this industry. I have helped to build this company from 8 employees to 40 plus. We're a powerhouse digitally. If somebody were to ask me, why'd you get the job? I don't know. Ask my bosses. How does that instill any confidence in anybody? And then on top of that, Nick Sorensen wasn't cut out for the job, in over his skis, couldn't make adjustments, had bad play calls situationally. He's now the special teams coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. Nick Sorensen to Robert Saleh, one of the biggest upgrades and additions for any team in the NFL this entire offseason. Don't forget to give me a follow on X and Instagram at Chase_Senior. I'm reaching millions of people over there in addition to reaching millions of people every single month here. I'm always talking Niners on YouTube, but I'm doing the same on social media. Don't miss out.